Hello friends, welcome to Cook to Nourish. Today's recipe is that of AIP chocolate cake. This cake is absolutely delicious. So I'm using Beth's Blends, a nut and cassava free blend which includes tiger nut flour, arrowroot flour and plantain flour. I apologize in advance for those people who are not able to get their hands on this blend. However, I wanted to post this recipe for people who can try this because this is a great special occasion cake for us AI peers. Now here I'm making the double layer version of this cake. That means I'm using this entire pack which is 8 ounce. So I'm using that entire pack, that is 8 ounce or 2 cups. In the recipe on my blog post, you will find I have half the recipe and I'm making only one cake. But today I'm making a double layer cake, so I'm just doubling the recipe. Next goes 1 cup of coconut milk, and then I'm using unsweetened apple sauce. Now we need 1 cup of this, so I'm using actually 2 small packs, but again check how much ounce you have. These are 8 ounce packs, so I'm using 2 8 ounce packs, or that is 1 cup. Okay, so you need 1 cup of applesauce. See, the texture of that applesauce is pretty thick, so you need an applesauce brand that is something like that. If you make it homemade, also make sure that the consistency is of this type, because the consistency is important. Next we'll add half a cup of extra virgin olive oil or avocado oil. So I have used both of these oils. So the first time I made it, I used avocado oil, and now I'm using extra virgin olive oil. Both turn out really great. Next we add half a cup of maple syrup. So this cake recipe uses both a combination of maple syrup and coconut sugar. Both these ingredients are necessary. The coconut sugar, because it's granular in nature, helps to give that nice spongy texture. So don't miss this. Don't skip this. So I'm going to add 4 tablespoons of coconut sugar. Again, a reminder, this recipe that I'm showing you, I have doubled up the recipe that I have on my website because I'm making 2 cakes and I'm going to layer them. So this is 4 tablespoons. If you want to just make a small cake, 1 cake, then you just have the recipe that I'm showing here. You can basically get the printout of the recipe from my website. So that is 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Next we're going to add, now here I'm using raw cacao. If you are 100% AIP elimination still and have not introduced cacao or cocoa, you can use carob. So that is half a cup of raw cacao or carob. Half a teaspoon of Himalayan pink salt. I like to use Himalayan pink salt. You can use any other sea salt. Now you could use an electric mixer to blend this all up, but it's it can be easily whisked. So I just started whisking it together. I'm going to stick with it, hand whisking it, and in just about a couple minutes you get a texture like this. And just make sure that there are no lumps, because the Beth blends, a flour blend, also has some lumps because of the tiger nut, etc., and the coconut sugar may have lumps. So just make sure that you get all the lumps and you get the mixture like of this consistency. And we've already greased our baking tin. These are 6.5 inch diameter tins. So I'm again, because I'm making a double recipe, I am putting this batter into 2 tins. So fill it up to 3/4 level, and then the cake will rise, fully up to the top. So up to 3/4 you can fill it up. And in goes these into the oven at 350 for about 40 to 42 minutes, or about 44 minutes. You keep checking. Next we'll make the frosting. So I've added again half a cup of raw cacao, 5 tablespoons of melted coconut oil. So I melt coconut oil in a cup and then I measure it out. So that's 5 tablespoons. Again, the frosting also I'm doing the double recipe because I'm going to layer the cake. You can have the recipe if you're only making one cake. So I'm adding 3 tablespoons of honey. Now see the consistency of honey, if it is this kind, like runny or like really liquid at room temperature, that's the best kind of honey you can use for this recipe, for this frosting. Next, I'll add about half a teaspoon. That's a quarter teaspoon mark, so about half a teaspoon of vanilla extract. You could also use vanilla powder. Especially if you're AIP elimination, since this is a frosting recipe, and just a quarter teaspoon of sea salt. So in general, vanilla extract is AIP compliant, but if you're not baking it off, then if it contains alcohol, it is preferred to use vanilla powder. Now you just kind of whisk it and see how it's already like you get a good texture. Now the cake has been cooling for 30 minutes, so it's all completely cool, and I just go using a butter knife, just try to get it like, make sure that it can come off easily. Now tap it slightly to loosen it up, and there you go. That's your beautiful cake. So again, if you're just making one recipe, that's the size of your cake. But I'm doubling this recipe and I'm going to frost it in the middle. So I'm going to have basically a 2-layer cake. So this was my cake for our Christmas party yesterday. And it came out absolutely beautiful. So this is actually a great, special occasion cake if you want to double the recipe that can serve about 8 to 10 people. This is my second cake, and then I'm going to layer. Be very careful and place it gently on the top, and then I'm going to frost it on top as well using this frosting that we made. Again, as I doubled the frosting recipe too, it's enough for me to frost the whole cake, the top and the middle layer, the top as well as the sides. There you go. That's the beautiful celebratory or AIP cake there for you. Not only does it look good, trust me, it tastes absolutely divine. This is actually the best chocolate cake ever. Don't forget to like this video as well as to subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching.